Hi Scorpio, here's a general look at your solar chart for October 2013, and as the month begins, the sun is in a more background area, as it always is at this time of the year, in the time before it enters your sign from the 23rd. So you should be getting on with more stuff behind the scenes, backstage, in the wings. I call this area the area of the cocoon. It's an incubation area, so you can be incubating a lot of stuff behind the scenes. But at the same time, you do have Mercury and Venus in your sign. Now, these are two very sociable planets. So maybe, you know, externally you can walk the walk and talk the talk and sort of exert that charisma a little bit on others, because they like your style, they like, and maybe that's the sort of image you're trying to cultivate. But behind that, there's a lot more going on. As I say, from the 23rd, the sun's coming into your sign, so that's a time of power in the year for you. It's a good time for you to take stock, to kind of sit back and sort of have a review, have a little mull over, you know, what the dance of life has been like for you over this past year, but also getting on more with things that you yourself are personally interested in. Mercury will still be in your sign there, so you'll have the Sun and Mercury in your sign, but Venus will have gone into the next department, as it were, in the solar chart, which is to do with your finances, which is not a bad thing indeed. At very least, Venus energy there can mean that you don't do too badly, and you know, at most you can do very well if you know how to play your cards right. You know, with a deal, with a getting yourself a bargain, maybe. Just being more concerned with preserving or acquiring basic stuff. It can be resources like money, but it can be other resources. It could be possessions, big or small, and physically, if anything's been out of balance in your life or in your physical, then this Venus energy can help you find that equilibrium again. Venus loves teaming up with other people, so you and a sidekick, you know, you and someone could be doing okay together in this area here from the 8th onwards. That will be when you have the sun in your sign. Mercury is, as I say, in your sign, meaning that you are very much in the stream of information exchange. There might be quite a lot coming at you at times, and remember, you're a water sign, and water signs do not process information at the speed of the air signs or the fire signs. Really, you process your information differently. It's got to sort of it's got to take a little trip through your heart and your gut first. You know, you're not. You shouldn't really try to rush things and make decisions off the top of your head, unless, of course, it's coming, you know, off the top of your hunch, as it were, off the top of your, you know, how you're feeling about this or that or the other thing. So Mercury is in your sign. There can be communication equipment that's more on your mind, and that includes vehicles, travel or transport. Any of that can be more emphasized, but also connecting with others, you know, over the phone, over the wires, over Skype or whatever. And you need to work a little bit harder at polishing up those people skills and being very clear with what you're saying, and also listening so that you get the clarity that you need from others. And if you don't get it, then ask. Mercury actually goes retrograde on the 21st, from the 21st onwards into that'll be going on into November. So during that time there, you know, as always with Mercury, there can be delays, crossed wires, misunderstandings. So just make sure that you got a mental grasp of what's going on, and then double check if you kind of get this kind of feeling inside of uncertainty. But there's nothing in the stars this month that say that you would have that more than at any other time. It's just me being sort of careful, really. Yeah, the planet of love and material success and the arts and just really romance and friendship and closeness with another is in your sign. That's been in there since mid-September. So that can be treats in the pipeline for you, or you doing well out of a deal. In fact, both those positions of Venus will tend to underpin that. And of course, it's always the way we play the cards, but she's on your side in that materialistic area anyway. You could be feeling a little bit self-indulgent though. So, as soon as it comes in, it goes out again. So just watch out for that. And also Venus is a great balancer, so the incomings and the outgoings would tend to be balanced. Somebody might appreciate you for what you have. So it can be a bit of kit, it can be a large piece of kit, a small piece of kit, or it can be something that you have inherently within you, like a talent. And it can be both, in fact, me and my guitar sort of thing. So have guitar will travel, or whatever it is. So yes, you might feel that appreciation coming towards you more over the month of October. Particularly, I guess, really, you're more up for it from when the sun comes into your sign, but it can happen over the whole month at any time. Now, until the 15th, Mars is right up at the top of your chart in a very different area to the sun. The Mars energy is trying to point the way to where you go from here. The Mars energy is making you very much aware of meeting certain standards, of keeping up the image, of building a reputation, or building knowledge that you're actually here, improving the way others see you, or the way you're packaging something. So working quite hard on that, being decisive and energetic about the professional area, about the general direction in life. Now, with authority figures, you might have to deal more with bureaucracy. You might have to deal more with officials in some area or another with Mars there. And you can get a little bit frustrated with the powers that be for whatever the reason. They're being inefficient, uncooperative, or just slow, especially after the 21st. So if you manage to keep your cool and your eye on the ball, then you will make progress with the master plan, and also with littler plans too. And then from the 15th, Mars moves into a very progressive, future-orientated area. This is a very socially dynamic area, so making connections is going to be important. Linking with others is going to be important. But because wherever Mars goes, you've got to perhaps be more, put out more physical energy, then you can get tired out with the amount of trouble that you've gone to for others as well. But if it's worth it, then hey, it's worth it. So due to certain others, life can become more demanding. That can be friends, that can be sort of colleagues, it can be people that you connect with for work, it can be any kind of association, and any kind of group dynamic as well, and from a very small one, like just a club or a family or a tribe, to a very big one. And also during this time you can be blowing the dust off an old idea, an old plan B, an old skill, an old dream or desire, that had to be shelved earlier. So in general, this is a very progressive time with Mars there. Until next July, Jupiter will be working out of his own house. I'm just going to rewind to Mars. Actually, I should have told you that between the 18th and the 21st, Mars is just going to brush over the top of the planet Neptune, which can mean that you are more open to being influenced by others, and then it kind of comes to nothing. Or it can mean that your just vitality is a bit down, or it can mean that you are just more open to the side effects of drugs or treatments of various kinds, or again to being influenced. It's a little bit of a confusing, vague energy, which you don't really want with Mars, because Mars likes to be the initiator. Mars likes to be clear cut and decisive, So maybe don't base actions too much on input there, or on what's coming at you there, because you might not really see clearly what's really going on. Even you, Scorpio, with your great ability to, your detective-like radar. So listen to that, but maybe don't do anything. Don't act on something that you're not certain about. I'm not saying it's going to be affecting anything, but until after the 21st. And then also a mention of Mercury going over Saturn between the 8th and the 9th. On the 8th and the 9th, there you could have more on your mind. You could feel more pressured mentally, and there could be maybe more to deal with paperwork or important sort of forms or something like that. Anyway. Pluto and Uranus are going across the Sun as well in the first week, the first 4 days. So this might mean that expect the unexpected, but it's really going to be affecting the cardinal signs more than your sign, which is a fixed sign. But anyway, not a good time to be taking sudden risks and trusting to luck as if you would. But impulsive behavior keep to a minimum during those first 4 days. However, things can be very inspiring. They can, the air can be crackling with electricity for whatever the reason, but it's always and ever up to you. Now, back to Jupiter. Jupiter will be working happily out of its own house in your solar chart until next July. And that's very good news for you. The position of Jupiter is very well placed for you, Scorpios. And growth will tend to come through travel, through casting your nets wide, through foreign connections, thinking bigger, acting bigger, and through academia as well, quite possibly for some of you. So education, but also you being seen as the educator, or at least guide, teacher, for others, but also a good teacher, a good guide, a good mentor figure could be coming your way. This is a great vibration for anything where you want to put the word out on a bigger stage, so broadcasting, beating the drum on something, through publishing. It's also connected to politics and the legal profession, so you might have to be looking into the legalities of this or that thing. But definitely this is a good vibration, and you can take you can get the bigger overview of things and kind of join up the dots. And you Scorpios born 10th to the 14th of November, or 18 to 22 degrees of Scorpio, are going to feel this energy the most. It's a good time for actually launching into new things, bearing in mind though that you have the antidote to Jupiter, the opposite vibration of contraction and limitation, Saturn in your sign. But as a matter of fact, if you get the two of those right, they balance really, really well together. So you can actually do a lot with these two. But yes, you're in this Saturn cycle, which is going to help you to take yourself and your needs and your dreams and your goals in life more seriously. It will help you to concentrate your energies consistently into those areas that need your focus, and which will help you to build slowly, step by little step, build a happier and healthier and more solvent future for yourself. And this is the time for you to kind of bite the bullet in a way, to build the new structures outside and almost by default inside, which will form the armature of that better, more comfortable life. Now you will have this time with Jupiter in this very good angle to your sun sign up until next July, so make the most of it. Saturn is in your sign until 2015. Well, it pops out just for a moment at the end of 2014, but basically 2015. And the positions of Saturn, Neptune, and Jupiter are very well placed, actually, even Saturn, because they are all in water signs, and so this can offset the heavier characteristics of Saturn to a degree. And it will also, Saturn is the get real planet, so it can also help you to limit building impossible castles in the air, or wanting to rush in at top speed on something. Just softly, slowly, stealthily as you go, and you will get there. And all three of these together make a very, very positive effect in your chart, and that can underpin a balanced and innovative and creative approach. And that's it for October. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those. It'll give you a more sort of rounded version of what I'm saying here. And if you want to know what the slow outer planets are doing, and what part of your sign they may be affecting, have a look at my website, because that'll be on there. And I'll see you the next time.